now we're going to go over to the Marina District in San Francisco, where there was tremendous fire last night. Did a lot of damage. There were several fatalities because of the fire in that historic area, a flat area with a lot of wooden buildings and apartment buildings that caught fire. We understand that a reporter out of San Francisco by the name of Wilson Van Alst has some information for us from the Marina District this morning.
Indeed, you are looking into what is left of a three-story apartment building plus two single-family homes on the north of that apartment building on Divisadero Street here at the intersection of Beach. There were another two homes that were wiped out by this fire to the west of the apartment building that burned. You know, we've been using that number of 3 as to the casualties here. We don't have a firm confirmation on that. That is everybody's best estimate at this point, and it seems what is going to be most likely. However, there could be more within that building, and what will have to happen later today is that firefighters go in there and dig through that rubble and try to find the remains of the victims in that fire. Indeed, the fear is that there might be more. Here is what else firefighters are going to be dealing with today. They have buildings like this one right here. This was a 3-story apartment building as well. It did not catch on fire, but it collapsed last night. 4 people were pulled out of that building alive. They were injured, but they were alive, and one of those had been trapped for 2.5 hours. She was trapped essentially from the time the earthquake hit until they could get enough rescuers in there and enough of the danger had passed that they could go in and saw a very heavy door that had fallen on top of her off of her. We understand that there was a firefighter who stayed with that elderly woman inside the building despite the dangers for some 2.5 hours until that rescue could be effected. But later today, they will have to go inside the building. They will bring in heavy equipment to try first to shore up the building to keep any further collapse from happening, and then they'll send firefighters back inside to see if there might be other survivors still in there, and of course the possibility that there might be other fatalities in there as well. Back to you, Lloyd and Lana.
Van, at one point during the shot just a moment ago with you, there was a fire hose operating behind you that looked like it had full pressure. That was a problem last night. The pressure was not full down in the marina. Is it back now, the water pressure? There
was a major problem with getting water to the fire we talked about. The estimate is that if they'd been able to have water here right away, they could have minimized the amount of damage. But one of the underground water mains had broken. Just as many of the gas lines to this area had broken, and there were gas leaks around here. Well, the water mains had broken as well. That meant the firefighters did not have water to put on the fire. What they did was bring in San Francisco's fireboat, the Phoenix, and that gave them water that they drew out of the bay. That was then transferred by big yellow hoses that maybe you saw in the background a little while ago, transferred to the fire through pumper trucks that got enough pressure into those lines. That took a very long time to do. And what we're told also is that had the fireboat Phoenix been committed somewhere else, if there had been another major fire somewhere and it were not available for this area, they never would have got it here, and probably the whole block ranging between Beach Street and the street to the north, Jefferson, and here on Divisadero and over to the west of it, Broderick, that whole block probably would have gone up in flames had not they been able to compile this unique combination of equipment to fight this fire. They say they were very lucky that they didn't have other fires in the city that they had to deal with at the same time. Right, Lola?
That was Wilson Van Alst in the Bay Area in the Marina District of San Francisco. You know,